Hello, it's Mooney, or Great Blue, whatever you'd like to call me. Now, Barotrauma has made a couple of updates. Not sure if my mic quality is going to be great, because, usually. But they made a couple of updates. I didn't make a video when they changed Mind Wipe, so that, like, well, they didn't change Mind Wipe, they changed the assistant, technically. They made it so you can't use the Mind Wipe trip to get all the perks, which makes sense, I guess. But it's a pretty expensive item. I felt that it should have stayed. And now, I mean, like, you had to spend, like, almost a whole campaign just even to get an assistant to that way. But now, they made it so you can't put makeshift shelves outside at all. You can't use the artifact trick by doing this. You can't use backgrounds because they stick to the floor of ships, which, in my opinion, is not so great. I mean, I need to see something here. Like, you can't even stack them. You can't even stack them anymore. You can't overlap them. You can't, like, what's the point of, like, decorating it to make it look as tall as the cargo things here? Like, you can't even move it up anymore either. On top of that, I just don't feel the makeshift shelf thing should have even changed. It's, I mean, like, having your storage be put, like, anywhere is very nice, in the first place, but now there's all these objects that'll always block where you can put it. You can't even hide it. You used to be able to hide it behind, like, a medical fabricator for some ships, like the Camel. But now you can't just place it anywhere. It's very limited. And I see why they made the change, you know, given all the exploits and tricks. And I've also recorded, like, many videos before and posted them to, like, channels specifically in the server, showing these tricks. But I really don't think they should have removed, the ability to place this anywhere, and I also don't think they should have removed, the ability to Mind Wipe as assistant, because both are investments. Both are investments. If you put your crate shelf outside, and you use it for the artifact trick, or you use it for a volatile rod trick, which I was spreading around, that's an investment of time and resources. You can't use that shelf for everything, especially if you put it somewhere where it's limited and not inside the ship. You are limiting yourself, but also using it for a unique purpose. And that felt fun and, like, very creative. By taking that away, you can't be as creative as you were before. On top of that, I've already explained why the Mind Wipe shouldn't be taken away, because, like, you have to spend so long in a campaign. You have to play for, like a couple of days, like, if you're doing, like, a slow playthrough, and, like, you play, like, a full campaign, and, like, you're in the end game, and you finally have all this, like, these resources to make Mind Wipes or buy them, because money is scarce, and Dimensionite is not easy to get. It doesn't spawn as much as other ores. On top of that, they've had a history of nerfing and removing a lot of things, like the ability to insta-kill monsters with the toy hammer, as a clown, with clown power as an assistant. And I understand why that was taken away, but even then, I still don't think that should have been taken away either, because it was such a low chance. I understand it's not realistic, and I understand it's not within vision, but so many things of the game just keep getting taken away. At what point will this be a game where you can, like, roleplay as the character that you want, or do the techniques and the tactics that you found out that you want to do, without modding the game, like, a bunch, because then it just feels a little cheap. That's not to say the toy hammer, like, combat stimulant thing that's new is bad. Like, I've actually used that. It's actually pretty good. But there's so many things that the clown could just, there's so many perks that could be halved back. You know, the mechanic and engineer are like the same class, for example. You know, they're the same exact class, but now, their new perks are a little more boring, except for a few. Like electrical wizard, no, lightning wizard was called for the engineer, where the engineer can actually auto hit enemies if they're hit and stun them. And then the engineer also has his own unique thing where he can wear the puck suit for radiation. That's great. The mechanic has the thing for the exosuit. But you get like the scrap cannon, you get the defense bots, you get the portable pumps. Those are things with very low uses. The mechanic over the two classes, even though they're the same class technically and both are repair, the mechanic has suffered a lot as well. He used to have the perk to tinker with any machine that was mechanical on the ship and like double its performance. You could like repair a engine, and let's say you wanted the ship to go really fast in an important moment, you could like overclock it, and then you would suddenly go twice the speed that you were going before. Like, you could communicate with your captain and actually have teamwork using that perk. But it was removed and replaced with the tree that gives you the scrap cannon and the upgrades for the submarine. Not that those perks should be removed. The scrap cannon is nice on its own. The having like micromanagement in this game, like the tiers of the ship, is also pretty interesting. But I feel like the perks like that should come back. We should have the clown perks back. We should have the mechanics like tinkering perk back. We should not have the makeshift shelves changed this way. We should not have like Mind Wipe remove the ability to stack perks on assistants, because all those things are investments of time and resources. Like, even with the mechanic back then, you had to focus on not repairing other machines and focus on one machine just to overclock it. You were still investing your time and your decisions into like one part of the ship to make it work in a specific way, while other people are struggling with other repairs. You still have to invest like where you're positioning yourself on the ship. Not only that, but Captain also used to have a unique perk that could have been like upgraded on. Like Deputy is so boring. Like, what does this do? You just stand next to an assistant and they get these skills, I guess. Yeah, sure, you can have someone follow you around and that's fun, but there used to be a better perk that was like this. You could have 2 people following you, people you ordered to follow you. He used to have a perk where, like, captains used to have a perk where you could like tell people to follow you and they got buffed as long as they were following you, and they were able to get like insane stats as long as they were basically your bodyguards. That felt like an actual captain perk. Deputy basically does nothing. An assistant is never going to be standing next to a captain unless he's trying to learn how to drive, and the captain is AFK. Lone Wolf, you're next to your team like almost always. This is only a single player perk. If your perks are decided based on whether or not you're playing a single player or a multiplayer campaign, like if you're the doctor and your perks are either you have the recipe advanced syringe gun if you're in a single player game. I mean, you could play as the doctor in your single player campaign, but if you are in a single player campaign, you're gonna put your bot on advanced syringe gun. If you're in multiplayer, you're gonna put it on advanced syringe gun too, because you're not gonna ever get the option to buy those chemicals, or even this perk, the black market genes. Both of those apply only if you're playing as that doctor specifically. Those only work. You're almost always going to pick delivery system or gene tampering. If a perk makes you only want to pick it 90% of the time instead of it actually be a choice of playstyle and not just pure micromanagement, that's not fun. They changed a lot of the perks of how they used to be. Like, you almost have no reason to pick this unless you're playing doctor. And on top of that, Um, I mean, that's not like the only few changes. Like, Captain also used to have a perk where he could ragdoll. It was not as realistic, like they said, for most of their changes. He used to have a perk that was a lot better between here, where you could ragdoll and do like a big, strong hit. And I know that was weak before, and now we have all this, which is a little better. But you could have upgraded the ragdoll thing. You ragdoll for 8 seconds, and then when you get up, you just do like a 80% damage shot. Little, like, too strong, like they might think. But I think something that strong would be nice for Captain. Have a choice between the ragdoll thing again, instead of Lone Wolf and W. Have a choice between the ragdoll thing and then also the following thing. You could replace these two perks. You could have the following perk that they used to have that buffed people as long as they were next to them and following them, or have the ragdoll one if you want to be funny and still have this tree. Not only that, the security officer, another perk that was taken away and took away some of the cool gameplay features, was the security officer used to have a ability to ragdoll, like tapping the button, and you could dash in the water. You could like dash. It's like it was its own unique movement form. While it can make some like diving suits unoptimal for the security officer, like you would just start giving away your slip suits to other people. You could like that dash is still very cool. Imagine if you're in a puck suit. You borrow it from your engineer. You're actually working together. Your engineer makes you a puck suit. Like, here you go, man. What's up? You want some radiation resistance so you can use that mini nuke with that grenade launcher? Here you go, man. Now your security officer has the puck suit and the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher being a security weapon and the engineer's puck suit. And they could like go as fast as the slip suit by using that dash perk. But it doesn't make the slip suit entirely useless because they can still make it for other people. And the dash mechanic was also very skilled. You could dodge monsters like hammerheads. You could like swim out and fight a hammerhead and dodge their attacks by like using their old dashing perk. And a lot of those mechanics were taken away a long time ago. There's a lot of perks that were removed, a lot of like features that were removed. The only change that they've ever made based on realism and balance that has ever made sense to me, because I've been playing this game for so long. I am literally the first player ever. I'm the first player ever with an anonymous partner who does not like to, I guess, be public about it. I'm the first player to ever Iron Man this game. I was one of the first players to ever beat the game, and so many people were struggling just to even get to the end due to so many, the game was so laggy, it was poorly optimized, the game barely ran well, and the Doomworm was atrocious as the first final boss of the game. I've been playing for such a long time. And not only that, just people generally were getting griefed anyway back then as well. That's like one of the parts that it's not really why they couldn't get to the end, but it contributed. People just generally never got to the end of the game. It used to be such a struggle, and we had like so many things that caused problems for the game, and it's only making it harder for people to even beat the game. There's a very few amount that actually like are able to get to the spoiler boss, or like the little area. I don't want to like spoiler it because some people haven't it's still haven't gotten there. It's not a point of time where they could watch a Barotrauma video and know what happens at the end, because people still struggle to get to it. It's a very few amount. You could say, well, I beat it, and my friends beat it, and well, yeah, that's your group of friends. Like most of the community could barely even get to the end, because of how the difficulty used to be, with the contribution of the griefing in public servers and stuff, or even like private servers crashing due to like that one exploit where someone used to hop on the servers just to crash everyone that was hosting the server, even if it was private. People just couldn't get to the end of the game for a multitude of reasons, but one of the most major reasons was the insane difficulty and the poor optimization of the game. You could barely fight a crawler, like, because of their limbs, like, their collective limbs just, like, riding up against the hull was alone was enough to, like, break the game. We used to have a bug where shooting golden hammerheads would crash your game. We used to have a bug where shooting your gun into a wreck would sometimes crash the game or just, like, stop it, like, hard freeze it, and then you had to actually close it in taskbar. Now, if you look at me, I don't have the best computer, but this game runs pretty well. I can spawn monsters now. I can, they made a lot of improvements. If I spawned a bunch of monsters while I'm recording, the game still runs pretty decently. I can actually move around even when I'm getting hit and stunned. I actually have the reaction time. I can press my buttons. It still works. But the game used to not be that way. I played for such a long time. I've witnessed all the perk changes. I witnessed all the, like, the changes to the AI, which I'm very thankful for the doctor being a lot better than he used to be, even though he still has problems. That's another thing. Instead of making all these balance changes and all these realism changes, they could also be, like, working on making the AI better. There's so many times in a multiplayer game specifically, players always just want to kill the crewmates. What if you incentivize them to not do that? What if you wanted them to actually have interactions? We still have unused character traits. Like the traits like rude or broken English, stuff like that. And, like, you know, like, how do you talk to NPCs at Outpost? What if you could actually talk to your crewmates and actually have, like, little minor things you could do for them? What if you, like, for any, like, bot crewmate, you, if you kept them alive, you had, like, a bigger XP payout instead of just, having no reason to keep them alive, especially if you have a player doctor who's going to be better than the AI doctor. According to players, the AI doctor will always just know where people are injured. Players don't do that, but they will shoot the doctor to it. A lot of public games, or even, like, games with friends, people will just shoot the doctor, or even shoot R.D. Doolittle, and they will just kill them off immediately and replace their job with, like, a player. What if having them alive, like, making their AI a lot smarter, even though they're already good, right now, make them, as their medical skill goes up, what if their skill goes up from, like, 30 to 100? If they, as the closer they get to 100, the faster and the way, I mean, it already does this, like, with how medicine works generally as items. But what if the AI, as the medicine went up, he knew how to better take care of the crew? Like, if he was at 100 medical, instead of saying, there's nothing I could do for this person, what if you made the bot having a hidden ability where they could, like, just tend to their wounds without the item and just top their health off, even if it was a minor wound? That way you can, like, have everyone capped out at their max health and be ready for the next fight, and have a reason to keep the bot around. I just wanted to make, like, a short video, even though it's just me staying on the pause menu. But I wanted to just show, well, not really show, I wanted to talk about, like, how long the game's been going and the changes that I've seen. I'm not the smartest player. I'm not by any means the best. There's a lot of players who are, like, very experienced in wiring, had problems with, like, the Brillia or the Typhon having their electrical problems, or people like just trying to work around the reactor changes. The reactor change is another change that I approve of. That's like one of the only changes that made sense to change instead of having all the wires do it for you. But even at the end of the day, like even with players who've also been like really good at like speed running certain portions of the game, or even just finding out little new tactics, like the person who invented boarding pods with like the boarding pod tactic with like you being hussed or having a dirty bomb while wearing a puck suit. You know, tricks, minor tricks like that people started finding out immediately. I just don't think they should keep changing the game. Even with these minor changes, they change a lot about how much control you actually have over your character. Your perks, there's barely a reason to like choose some perks. A lot of the perks are like either optimization or you just don't care. I wish the perks were actually just more playstyle focused. Like you could actually choose between two perks that were focused on a playstyle rather than choosing based on what was more optimal, like most of the doctor's perks or even the captor's perks. No one picks deputy. No one picks deputy. You could be changing things like that. Maybe even reverting changes. I want the mechanic to have the tinkering buff. That would help a lot.